Okay guys, hi, it's Ollie Pierce. I'm back again with our fourth blog post concerning men's fashion for the summer. So we've already gone through casual shoes slash plimp soles, and we also covered light coloured jeans and chinos for the summer, and then t-shirts. So as you can see, we're sort of creating an overall look here. So now we're going on to hats, summer hats. I've been getting a huge amount of questions about what hat can I wear, what's good for a holiday. If we have, a couple of days of sun during our awful English summer, what can I wear in those days, right? So I've gone to the same 5 high street brands I've been using throughout the last few posts to give you an overview of really obvious and easy places you can go. You can know exactly what you're looking for, where to go and how much it costs. So we start with Topman, the bottom of the range, moving up to River Island, also low range, mid-range fashion, Zara, then All Saints, which is the the high end of the high street, and then one low-level design label, Ted Baker. Okay, so let's do this then. The first one was Topman, and in Topman they had an abundance of hats which were all hideous. Apart from this one, the Topman Trilby. I actually really like the blue trimming, and this was only 12 quid. So that's the Topman Trilby. And as you can see, a lot of these hats I've gone for sort of lighter colours. They're going to match up really well with your chinos, which I've already showed you in an earlier blog post, and the plimp soles go with a nice nondescript v-neck t-shirt, which I also showed you earlier. So we've got quite a cool look here already, and that's the Topman Trilby. I really like that, and it's only 12 quid. You're going to see a lot of these straw hats for the summer. In fact, I think nearly every single brand had a straw hat, so you can see that they're really fashionable, and that's definitely one of my favourites, and we'll come back to that in a bit. The second shop we visited was River Island. They also had a huge amount of hats, and they even had a kind of beanie, right? So this is not a summer hat, but it's very trendy at the moment, and for only 8 quid and in a really cool colour, you can't really complain. So it's not one of my favourites and not that suitable for the summer, but guys often ask me if I could try one of these style hats. There we go again. It's quite cool. I like the style. It matches well with the colours and the summery gear. So guys, if you want to wear one of these in the summer, you might be a bit hot, but it looks good and it's only 8 quid. So that's by River Island. The second River Island hat we've got is the Grandad cap. Right, this is again £15, alright, so a little bit more expensive than the other 2 hats we've seen so far. It's got a nice lining in the inside, nice purple lower bill, and that is the River Island Grandad hat. Alright, have a give a side view there. I like these hats. I don't personally wear them myself, but a lot of dudes do, and they do look kind of cool. And this one is definitely not a bad example of that. Only £12, works really well with the chinos, it's a cool look. So that was the River Island Grandad hat, Grandad cap. We then move on to the River Island straw hat, which is £15. Very similar to the Topman one, except it's not as nice, to be quite honest. The trimming on the Topman hat in the blue is much nicer than this straw thing here. It feels kind of flimsy, like it's going to break, and it's a bit bigger. The shape's not quite as good as well, and it's £3 more expensive. So I've got to say the Topman hat so far is the dominant one, and this one is not bad, but close but no cigar. So that was River Island. We're now going to move on to Zara. And we've got a variation of the Grandad hats at Zara. Zara is a Spanish brand, and I think these are actually more trendy now in Spain than in London. I've been to Spain recently and I've seen a lot of guys wearing these. So Zara had about 7-8 different variations on these hats and on the Trilby. This one is the plain grey Grandad cap. Very similar to the one from Topman really, except in this colour. This would look great with, say, a kind of light grey pair of trousers or chinos or darker jeans. So again, it's very similar to the last one we looked at, the River Island one. Although I think I probably prefer the beige one slightly. And let's have a look at the prices. This one is only a tenner though, so it's actually cheaper. Again, for £10, not bad at all. So you could try that one as well. That's from Zara. We've also got this one from Zara, which is another mere £10. And it's very similar to the River Island one. I mean, they're so similar, I would really match them to the colour of your trousers. So, for the trousers I'm wearing today, we can see none of them are perfect. This one looks nearer the colour, but this one will actually work better. So I'd say for the trousers I'm wearing today, which happen to be the All Saints chinos I've already talked about in an earlier blog, this cap is probably better. So as far as the Grandad hats go so far, I'm going to stay with the Zara hat as my favourite. Quality for money, very similar to the more expensive one, and also a nice colour. Finally, we've got the Zara Trilby. Right, I don't like this hat at all, and I really didn't like any of the hats in Zara, but I wanted to get one just to show you their best one. They have this one here. I do like the thick black rim. It makes it look quite high-end and expensive, but I don't like the black straw mixed in with the obvious straw colour. So this one is £16, the most expensive hat so far. It's a bit bigger, a bit bulkier, a bit less cutting edge, fashionably looking with the shape. Although the combination does go quite well with the black and beige with this, that works quite nicely. You could try that out. My favourite is still the Topman Trilby, still my favourite. I don't like shopping at Topman for mature guys or guys who are past their mid-20s, I've mentioned over and over again. But with a hat, you can't tell where it's from. Simply cut the label out and it's just a hat. It's not like a t-shirt or a blazer which you can tell is a cheap garment. So don't worry so much, the mature guys who want to spend more money on clothes, about getting a hat from a cheap place, because simply no one's going to know. But this one, not that keen, the shape's not great, and I don't like the colour combination. So we'll leave that one as well. I'm then going to progress onto All Saints. I imagine this will be more expensive, 20 quid this one. So for All Saints that's quite good, because this is really sort of, you know, verging on designer now. I like this hat, it's very cool. It's got a nice shape. All Saints is a very fashionable brand, and I like the darker colour. So really, between the two, the Topman and the All Saints one I'm wearing now, I like them both a lot actually. The colour in this one is obviously darker, so matches with the dark jean. In terms of price, this one is again nearly half the price, so I'd have to edge towards the Topman one, but nevertheless it's a really cool hat. So remember the All Saints one, and we'll keep that on the table because it's a success. So finally, we're going to try Ted Baker, our designer brand. We've got a Ted Baker cap. I love the inner lining. Ted Baker does this really well with all his garments. In jeans, you saw chinos with a nice trimming in an earlier blog post, blazers. They all have a very cool lining, cool patterns. This one costs, we'll have to find out in a minute because there's no tag on it, but I'd imagine quite expensive. I'd imagine about 30 quid, 40 quid. This one is the Ted Baker Grandad cap. Again, it looks very similar to this one, the one I said I liked from Zara. I'm sure you'll all agree. If you look sideways, except it's nearly 3 times more expensive. I do like the thin white stripe, but for the price and the style and the similarity between the lower end brand, I would definitely stick with the River Island, with the Zara hat, and leave the Ted Baker one. So a cool hat, a nice colour, but really so similar. Why spend 3 times the amount of money on this one when the Zara one does the trick? Finally, we've got the Ted Baker Trilby. I mean, I don't know what happened here. It was actually sold to me like this, and they're all like this. It looks like it's been sat on by a rather large person. It's squashed, it's weird looking. Let's try it on, see how it looks. I mean, I am much less keen on this than the cheaper brands. I'm sure they've gone for this squashed look. It looks a bit sort of, you know, a cad in the summertime. His hat's a bit messed up, but it's not really the style I'd go for. I think that if you're going to wear one of these hats, the shape is meant to be like these ones here, and the squash look doesn't work. So I don't like this one, really. And especially for the money, I think it's about 40 quid. I'm going to find the prices of these 2 hats I didn't have just now and include that in the article below, so you can find the prices then. But I know they're going to be more expensive. So for the price range, I'm going to leave Ted Baker again, and we're going to stick to these 3 hats as our champions of the summer hats. So probably the best one so far, Topman Trilby. The cheapest, really nice rim, nice straw, nice consistency, a cool looking hat, love the colour for the summer. Slightly smarter along the same lines as the All Saints one, my second favourite Trilby, which is 20 quid. Still cheap for All Saints, very good quality. Again, a nice lining rim here. So my favourite and second favourite Trilby are these 2. And then, hands down, the best Grandad cap was from Zara, the plain kind of washed beige Zara Grandad hat for £10. So there we go, guys, my favourite hats for the summer. One more thing, so that was my favourite hats along the lines of these smart hats. Something I've been asked to cover as well is baseball hats. So before we end, let's just quickly get these involved. So I'll leave these here. Baseball caps. Alright, so if anybody wants to wear a baseball cap and they've got some awful old hat with a bent over bill, that's not cool. Chuck it away, burn it, get rid of it. Baseball caps now have to be this kind of fitted hip hop style thing. And people think that, oh, I can't really wear one of these hats, it looks too gangster, it's too hip hop. But that's totally wrong now, because it's totally transcending styles. You're going to see rock and roll kids wearing them, Hollywood celebs, boy band members, cast members from Geordie Shore, which should put you off horribly. But you know, everyone's wearing this now. These hats are extremely common, they're extremely fashionable. Hip hop culture and music is transcending all genres, so you can try these guys. So the first one I'm going to look at is a fitted baseball hat. The difference is, this is a snapback and this is fitted. These started the whole trend, and these have more connotations of being sort of associated with gangsters, right? But you still get away with it now because the snapback has started a trend worldwide amongst, you know, guys who wear skinny jeans, and it's typically not just hip hop anymore. So that is a plain black, new era fitted baseball cap, and this will cost about £30 in a shop. Again, you could wear it just in a combination like I'm wearing now, like this. It's a lot of guys wearing, looks great with the skinny chinos and the black t-shirt. Or you can turn it backwards and wear it like that. And that's not particularly hip hop anymore. Guys are always worrying, but when I look like I'm a gangster wannabe, no, that's cool, it's now a fashionable, stylish thing to try. That is the fitted hat. I say fitted because it says your head size on the inside there, right? This is actually slightly too big for me, but I like to wear them big anyway. But so that's the fitted hat. That, however, isn't as trendy now as the snapback. So I've got a variation of these snapbacks, obviously called snapback because they snap to size. These have become immensely popular again recently. They're actually from the late 80s and early 90s, but the snapback thing has come back due to certain rappers like Wiz Khalifa and Chris Brown are wearing these. Okay, so we've got firstly Obey, probably the trendiest brand who makes these. This hat will cost about £35 to £40. You get it online or from sort of specialist shops which sell this kind of merchandise, skatewear, hip-hop clothes, urban fashion. That's the Obey snapback, really nice, great colours, nice under rim there, and that's by Obey. Then, that's a brand, Obey, it's not a sports team. Most of these hats will represent sports teams, so I've just got a few of the obvious ones here. Always keep the sticker on, by the way, guys. No sticker, not cool. Right? So people are like, oh, that looks ridiculous. But you keep the stickers on either side. That's what you got to do, man. That's just what it is, right? So we've got the classic New York Yankees hat, the most classic one, the most common one. Everyone wears this, the snapback. I love this one. I think the colour on this is great. And earlier, in my earlier blog post, I showed you how much I liked in t-shirts the maroon t-shirts from All Saints and River Island. They look awesome with this hat. So remember that. And then another very common sports team, the Oakland Raiders. So we've got two sports ones, both by Mitchell & Ness. These will cost about 25 to 30 quid. This one is by New Era and will cost about, the snapback by New Era will cost the same, 25 to 30 quid. And the Obey one, finally, also by Obey, snapback, will cost a bit more, 35 quid, because it's a separate brand and not just a sports team selling products. Alright, so there we go again. Finally, snapbacks, one fitted. And here we have it, guys, an overview of all the hats we've looked at and my favourites. And let's just show you quickly how we can wear the snapback. You can also wear that like this way, like that is cool, or we can have it forward as a normal cap. Remember, don't bend the rim, don't pull it too far down over your eyes, and you can adjust it to size. Unlike this one here, which has to be fitted. Alright guys, so that was summer hats. I hope you enjoyed that. Go and get a hat for the summer, and I'll be back soon with more posts. Thanks.